Hello and welcome back to another certified OG shaking video, ladies and gentlemen. Today is actually a very fundamental day in shipment history because we're doing something that I've wanted to do for quite some time already. Because we're actually going to Austria's biggest car auction. It's not only the biggest, but also the most exclusive car auction. It's like 1 hour away from here, and we are going there to win. We're gonna be there for business, and we're gonna be standing on business.
Dominating the others.
We're going to dominate everybody. I legitimately want to buy at least one car today at this car auction. It's going to be quite interesting, I think. I've never done this before. I've never been in an auction. First of all, I would suggest that we get dressed appropriately because this is a very serious event for serious buyers only. I don't really know what cars we can expect today, but like I said, it is a very exclusive auction, so we should be expecting some very high-end classical cars. We're gonna drive there now, so that we are the first ones, because we're gonna be the first ones as well today when auctioning the cars.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Classic Car Expo 2024. We're here in Salzburg, and as you can see, this is very much focused on very high-end and exclusive cars. So it's perfect for us because we are very much classic car connoisseurs. I have literally no idea what the this is, but it looks pretty fancy. I think I would suit right in there. First things first though, because this is the most important, we have to register to bid now. Then we can walk around here a little bit, look at all these beautiful cars here, and then later on, 3 p.m, it's showtime, baby. Konkurrenten mögen sie schon, die müssen wir dann ausschnapsen nachher.
Geht ja schon rein los.
Also wenn der den Jager nimmt, dann friss ich am besten.
Dann bitte ab hier hinunter eintragen und Ihre Nummer wäre die 43. Das bitte auch noch hier daneben schreiben.
Dann haben wir es, dann schön.
Ja?
Anyway, so let's go find the others because some friends of ours are here as well. Then we're going to show you the cars that are here for auction. You can also see kind of a sneak peek already, but there's better stuff. And maybe we can buy some other stuff in the meantime.
Kannst du die auch kaufen, oder? Ja, wir sind 325er, Erstbesitz. Taler Hund. Taler Hund.
4 Türen, das ist genau
40.000.
Bist du deppert.
Boah.
Für 60.000
Her?
tue ich mir den Scheiß nicht durch. Steht da her.
Um Gottes Willen. Na servus.
Hey. Das macht Steigern gleich viel leichter, Jungs.
Was? Spannend schon, oder?
Ja, ist noch geiler. Du warst schon linker.
Witzige Geschichte, dass du einmal einen gehabt hast.
Ja, jedem für die Hälfte verkauft.
Chef, er steht eh gleich oben, nicht betreten. Das ist ja mega.
We have this for Sean, by the way. Sean is probably the biggest X5 enthusiast I know.
Yeah.
So I think he might actually like this. This is for Mani, obviously.
Ja.
And now something for me. Huh?
Schwer.
Ah, das mach ich schon. Das ist ja ultra schön.
Boxen du? Ja.
Ey, das ist echt die Lampen von E34. Ich glaube, ich spinne.
Jetzt
Ich
geht
hoffe,
schon.
dass du das vergisst. Ich wollte gerade sagen, hoffentlich vergisst das.
So schwer ist
Dann
das
kommt auf
auch.
meinen 34 auf.
So this is now hole number 3, and here you can just directly buy a car without auctioning it. So maybe, if we find something interesting, maybe we don't have to go to the auction anymore.
Ohne Scheiß, das ist er.
Pretty much a similar car is at the auction. You're gonna see it later.
Sieht man gar nicht. Nice, so wird sich ausmachen. Gute Zeit. Also, ey,
40.000 Spitten.
das geht aber. Das
Für einen geschickten Renault.
mit 6-Zylinder.
Nein.
250, ja.
Hast du PayPal?
Ja.
Ist der Schlüssel dabei?
Das Stück kostet 290, heute Sonderangebot.
Dann machen wir 1000 für beides.
Ja, aber nein, das steht nicht um.
Ich bin einfach 2 Wochen schon da, wenn
Ja.
Was kostet der Schlüssel nochmal?
200.
290.
Dann machen wir 700.
Dann ist ein bisschen Schnüffler, gell?
Ja, kennst du das?
Uhu und Benzin.
1150
Original.
beides. Geht noch mit dem Auto, wie
passt.
kurz steigen.
Und jetzt einen Follower hast du auch nicht. Folge da.
Ja, dann nochmal. Okay. First thing that we bought. Hey, wie kriegen wir das jemals heim?
Ich hab ihn heim.
The only reason why I bought this is because I wanted this. And now we kind of got this for free. And now we're going to try to sell the bike for a more expensive price. Jetzt, oder?
Ja?
Ja. Was ist die Nummer von dir? Ja, würde geben. Ja,
Sonst haben wir nicht einmal T-Shirt gekauft, weil wir sonst den ganzen Tag tragen müssen. Du kaufst am Anfang vom Tag einmal perfekt passen.
Now that Ole is here, we need to find something for Ole as well. And we also made the promise that we're not leaving without a car. Sieht man das?
Ja, voll geil.
Also, dass du jetzt schon wieder Moped da stehen hast, das glaube ich da nicht.
Ja, 900 zum Zweiten. Jetzt überlegst du, wie du dein Moped heimlegst. Was tust du damit?
Wie war's denn ab? Du bist eigentlich du
Alle anderen haben Ski oben am Porsche, man wieso nicht der Benelli? Ich brauch das nicht.
Ich auch nicht. Schaut einfach schön aus.
Schaut doch nicht schön aus.
Alter, es schaut so geil aus. Ohne Scheiß. Ohne Witz.
Ole, grün hätte ich auch schon.
Falls man nichts mehr findet in der Halle, was mir gefällt, dann kaufe ich dein Moped. Aber da muss ich gar nichts mehr finden. Ich finde gar nichts mehr.
Ja, passt. Enough playing around. We have to register Ole at the auction now because Ole also wants to bid on some cars.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna show you the cars that you can win here. Wow. Ein Traktor.
Oh, welcher?
Yeah, I really have to say, there's actually some pretty cool cars here. It's not only like very old cars, but you also have the Z3M. I'm gonna try to at least bid with this one. This one is also pretty sick, but I think this is a replica. Very expensive. You can kind of see the pattern where this is going. So these are pretty funny. We're gonna try to bid with these as well. This one here is also pretty cool. It's a 325i M Technic, which you can see here. Also very clean example. Car looks pretty much like brand new inside. Engine bay looks insane. 40 to 50k. That's insane price. Pretty nice color on this set one. This is going to be pretty exciting to see how much it goes for since we have one at home in blue. It was my mother's. We never really drive it, but I have to say it is quite a fun car. Obviously you have the party trick with doors that open upwards. Also this one here is pretty interesting. 316i, very pristine condition, pretty expensive. First owner, 20,000 kilometers I think on the car. Such a clean condition, it's insane. Look at this. I think this is the cleanest E36 I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, this one here is also pretty nice. It's an E34 M5. This is one of my favorite M5s that you can buy, and this one actually is a 3.8. 3.8s are very rare. There's under 1,000 ever produced. Oh, the interior is very nice. One of my favorite cars BMW ever built. Price, they say, is going to be between 20 to 28,000 without limit, but I think it's going to be way higher than that because a normal 3.6 costs around 30 to 35,000 here in Austria already, and this is a 3.8. One of the most interesting cars for me in this auction, I think. This is pretty cool. This would be something for Mani. This one is pretty nice. It's an 8 valve though. There's been a 16 valves as well. Yeah, also very expensive for this being an 8 valve. Always wanted to have one, but they're just so expensive. It's just not really worth it in my opinion. This is also very interesting. Let's say Jaguar XJ8, but there's been a version from Daimler, which is basically Mercedes, where they increased the wheelbase. The rear front has, I think, like 20 or 30 centimeters more increased space for your legs. It's a V8, supercharged. Oh yeah. It's not really in a great condition. I think if it stays under 10k, it might be worth it, but over that, it's definitely not going to be worth it. But we're also going to try to bid on this one because I think this would be a cool daily driver. Yeah, you have a very interesting mix because some of the cars here are really nice and pristine, and then some other ones are really shitty. This one is the most expensive here. That's like 1.1 million euros estimated price. So we'll see how much this actually ends up going for. So let's wait until the auction begins, and then we'll see what we can actually end up buying. It's going to be pretty interesting, I think. After all of this waiting, the auction finally started, and I really have to say, I was so nervous. There were around 100 cars up for auction, so it took quite some time to get to the most interesting ones. We skipped bidding on some of the cars that we initially wanted to bid on.
Das ist das erste Auto.
Ja, ich bin nervös.
6.000 Euro. 7.000 Euro.
Jetzt ist schon.
Ja, jetzt ist zu früh. because after some careful consideration we just thought some of them were not worth it, including the Jaguar XJ for example.
5.000 Euro. 5.000 Euro für den Daimler. Zum ersten.
Uli wanted to bid on the Fiat 500, but ultimately he just really didn't have the courage to bid on the car. I was so nervous as well. You have to keep in mind there are around 500 people in this room that all want to bid on the same cars, and on top of that there's also people bidding on the telephone and people bidding online at the same time, which leads to a lot of pressure on you.
86.000 Euro. 88.000 Euro. 90.000. Dankeschön.
Then it was finally time. The E34 M5 came along, and I don't know what got into me, but I really wanted to have it. And some other dude, he apparently had the same plans as me.
Viele haben sich den angesehen und wir haben hier bereits Gebote vorliegen in der Höhe von 12.000 Euro. 12.000 Euro sind Verhandlungsgebote. 12.5, 13, 13.5, 14.5, 15, 15.5, 16.
The bidding got pretty intense and we soon climbed up to 20k. But the other guy just wouldn't back down, and we pushed each other higher and higher. This is where it stopped for a few seconds, and I really thought I'm gonna get this car for 20,000.
20.000 Euro.
But the other guy just wouldn't back down.
22. 22.000 Euro für den M5. Auf 43. Zum ersten. 24.000 Euro. 25. 24.000 Euro auf 43.
In my mind, I set the limit to 30,000 euros. If we would reach this limit, the other guy could have this car.
26.000 Euro. 26.000 Euro auf 43. Zum ersten. 26.000 Euro zum zweiten. Und 26.000 Euro für den M5 auf 43. Zum dritten. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Schau mal, wie sieht das aus?
Das ist viel schlimmer als ein Auto kaufen.
So I don't really know how it's going to continue, but apparently they're going to send me an invoice tomorrow, which I'm going to pay tomorrow then. And next week sometime we can pick up the car, so I guess we can't unfortunately drive it back home now. We just talked to some guys. Apparently an Austrian rally driver used to have this car before me, so it's hopefully properly used well. So far, honestly, I have to say that most of the cars here at the auction sold way below the price that they were, listed. I honestly don't even know what to say right now. I'm still a bit overwhelmed. I honestly didn't want to lose the E34 M5, but so far so good. I honestly think that was a pretty good auction. You could get quite many cars for good deals. So if you ever wanted to have a very special car, if you're lucky enough for a very good price, I would suggest you guys to go to a car auction. Obviously we have to pay like 15% on top for the auction itself, so the car is going to be around like 30k, but for 30k, 3.8 is still a very good price. Yeah, our car just sold for like 1 million, and that was also the last car of the auction. So we have to figure out how to get my motorcycle and all the other stuff back home, and we also have to figure out what to do with the E34. I'll see you guys in a bit.
So haben wir durchgequetscht, schau das an.
So mal durchgequetscht.
Hello and welcome back to Mrs. Witzburg. 2 days later, here's the invoice. They sent it to me yesterday. In the end, this car cost 29,900 euros, which I think is still pretty cheap for 3.8. Pick up the car and then drive it back home, see what kind of condition the car is in, because honestly we didn't really look at it properly when we auctioned it on Saturday. By the way, really quick, this M-Technic 2 325i sold for 44k. Beautiful car, but in my opinion not really worth it. This one here sold pretty cheap because this is not the original color. Originally this car was black, which I didn't know. M5 Collector. Schauen wir, ob er was anspringt. Ja.
Und was sagst du?
Das Radio ist gescheit funky. Aber schaut, der hat Electronic Dampening Control.
Der ist Stabdrucken, oder?
Ja, viel Schwuler da drin. Ein Bigfe.
Ja, gleich ein Foto machen.
Das stimmt, oder?
Geil, Alter.
Yeah, also I actually can't really believe it that this is now mine. I always wanted to have an E34 M5 because of Giorgi Tastane. If you don't know him, you better Google him right now, because for me, one of the most influential car guys of our century. Unfortunately, he died a few years ago, but his legacy may hopefully live on through this car. So this one's for you, Giorgi. We're gonna drive it back home to my garage now. Gonna test it out a little bit, not too much because I'm not really in the mood for drifting around. We had a pretty rough day yesterday, as you can probably imagine, while celebrating that we bought this car. So drive back to the garage, look at it in full detail. So I see you guys in the garage in a bit. Hello and welcome back. It is now officially the third day of, this whole journey of getting this car here into the showroom. And now we also have Gabriel with us. Also, spoiler alert for Eddie, you're probably gonna see this in the next video, but pretty cool. So this is the 3.8 liter M5 E34. They have a 3.8 liter 6-cylinder engine, naturally aspirated, producing around 340 horsepower, which is pretty good considering that this is like a 32-year-old car. It is a beautiful color. It looks like a 7 Series in this color, I think, especially with the wheels. The wheels are sick. I think if the car is lowered a bit and the wheels come out further, I think this is actually a really, really good looking car. This color combination is actually pretty rare. That's the one thing to keep in mind. And what's even more rare about this car is the interior. I did not know this, but there is very, very few E34 M5s that came with these cloth seats. This is probably, in my opinion, the coolest thing about this car. This car has roughly 200,000 kilometers, but it looks actually brand new inside here. The steering wheel actually also looks very new. You also have this very nice storage compartment. That's the only thing that is kind of annoying me, is that it has this aftermarket radio. And a cool little fun fact about the E34 M5 is that these were one of the first cars to come with electronic dampening control. I really have no idea which of these buttons is sport. Maybe P stands for performance, maybe S stands for sport. I have no idea. The suspension is very, very soft. I noticed while driving it yesterday, it literally feels like you're driving the Raptor on the street, but it's just a lower version of the Raptor. The car goes sideways. I already tested it out yesterday. If you want to have the full driving test, I think you guys have to wait until the next video. The only thing that we didn't really properly look at is the engine. So let's just... Cool fun fact. E34 M5, hood opens to the front.
So perfect to work on it.
Yeah, mega geil.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, this is a huge 6-cylinder engine. The cool part about those cars is that they actually really, really like boost. So, yeah. Yeah, there's actually a pretty famous video of like an E34 M5 smoking a Bugatti. These engines are absolute tank engines. I mean, if you look at it, you already see that it's a pretty massive and actually very well-built engine. This here is not very nice, but you know, it's nothing major, honestly. But apart from that, it actually looks pretty good. Seems to be dry, no fluid or anything leaking.
For the fact that it's 32 years old, it's in better condition than me.
Yeah.
And I'm not 32 years old.
So, like, first overview, I would say the engine seems to be fine. I mean, it was running absolutely perfect yesterday. I drove it here for like 2.5 hours. Car didn't overheat, no issues whatsoever. It didn't really start at first when we drove it off the auction lot, but after like 10 seconds of cranking it, it started off perfectly and was running very, very good. Two-tone, obviously. I mean, you saw that. Every 3.8 M5 is two-tone. Let's lift up the car, see how it looks like from the underside. They are old cars after all, and BMWs like to rust. This one, at least exterior-wise, we don't know the underside yet, but exterior-wise, it seems to be perfectly rust-free. You have no rust here. This part here likes to rust, and especially here under the doors. Normally there's lots of rust on E34s here. This one is completely rust-free. Also here, no rust. So this is actually really, really good. Reserveradl. Keine Rust, sehr schön. This is only screwed on, so this whole part comes off, and then the wheel underneath it looks like this. So this is actually the 5th spare wheel. Is actually just a normal wheel, which you can put on the car normally. Also here, absolutely no rust, absolutely perfect condition.
Die first one.
Stimmt, ja. Jetzt ein Oak-Rissen, so wie wir in Amerika beim F5. I mean, obviously it's an old car, so you have some rust in some areas. But it's nothing too major. Everything still seems to be very solid. If you compare it to how Eddie looked like, it was even way worse. This here looks absolutely beautiful. You have absolutely no rust on the complete length of this car here. This is also very, very nice. No scrapes, nothing. A little bit of rust here as well. Fuel lines are a bit rusty in some parts, but also not really too bad, I think. No oil leaks, no major rust spots. Seems to be actually pretty nice. What the fuck? It seems to be technically in a good condition, actually in a perfect condition. I mean, I drove it yesterday. Car goes sideways, so it has enough power. The only thing is that these tires are actually from 2008. So that might also be the reason why it went sideways so fine. Paint is not perfect. They tried to polish it in some areas, as you can see, probably really quickly to make it beautiful for the auction, but they fucked it up in some of the spots. So this car would need to be polished to make it beautiful again. Also, you have some scratches, obviously, over the years. This here is pretty much the major area where they have the most scratches, this car. The cheapest M5 E34 3.8 liter in the internet is currently for sale for 40,000 euros. The 3.6 liters are around 20,000 euros, the cheapest ones. If you want to have a good one, good 3.6, you would probably have to pay like 25 to 30,000. And if you want to have a beautiful 3.8, you would probably have to pay, I would say, around 45 to 50,000. So in the end, theoretically, I would say this car is probably worth around 45 to 50,000 because it is actually pretty good condition. And we also have all the Austrian taxes already paid for it. So I think we actually did a pretty good deal. This might be the first time that I ever did something right when buying a car. No, I think in the end we were just lucky because most of them were just there for like the really high end and very expensive cars, like the old timers. And none of them really appreciated this car. So I think we actually got lucky. Yeah, now the only thing is we need to find out how it drives. But I say, we'll see about that. But yeah, for now, I think this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this very interesting video. I always wanted to buy a car at the auction, and I think it actually went surprisingly well. So this is a happy ending, very rare occasion on my videos. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it was very interesting to see. I definitely learned quite a lot, and I hope you guys did too. And I hope I could show you guys how these car auctions work. And I hope that you guys are equally as excited about this project as me, because I think we're gonna have a good time with this car. So, see you guys again.